TLDR Learning presents The City That Refused to Die, Leningrad. When the German army reached the outskirts of Leningrad in September 1941, the city stood as both symbol and prize. It was the cradle of the Russian Revolution, the heart of Soviet industry, and the second largest city in the empire. To capture it would be to break the spirit of an entire people. Hitler believed that if Leningrad fell, Moscow would follow, but the city did not fall. It endured one of the longest and most terrible sieges in human history. 872 days of hunger, cold, and death. More than 1 million civilians would perish, yet the red banner never came down. The story of Leningrad is not only about war, it is about the strange arithmetic of endurance, how a city calculated hope against starvation and found a way to keep breathing when the world around it froze. When the invasion began, the German plan was swift annihilation. Army Group North surged through the Baltic states, capturing one fortress after another. By early September, they reached the suburbs of Leningrad. To the south, the Finns advanced from Karelia, closing the trap. The city was surrounded, 3 million souls inside a shrinking circle. In Berlin, Hitler issued his order: no surrender, no acceptance of refugees, no mercy. He did not want to occupy Leningrad. He wanted it erased. Artillery batteries were told to fire until nothing moved. Luftwaffe squadrons turned neighborhoods to ash. Yet beneath the smoke, the city refused to die. Factories that once built tractors now forged weapons. Women, teenagers, and pensioners labored in workshops without heat, feeding machines with the last coal and the last of their strength. The city orchestra continued to play. Newspapers printed on scraps of wallpaper. Librarians guarded volumes as if they were sacred relics. Leningrad fought not just with rifles but with rhythm, the rhythm of existence. Food vanished first. The daily bread ration dropped to 200 grams, then 125, a slice thinner than paper. People boiled leather belts, chewed wallpaper paste, and scraped the glue from furniture. Still, they went to work, because the city's survival depended on factories that could not stop. Winter arrived early. The temperature plunged below -30 degrees. Pipes burst, furnaces died, and the Neva River froze solid. But the frozen river became salvation, the road of life. Trucks crept across the ice at night, headlights covered, carrying flour, fuel, and sometimes children to safety. Every journey risked bombardment and cracking ice, yet they drove, guided by moonlight and faith. In the hospitals, doctors operated without anesthetic. In apartments, families burned furniture for warmth. Bodies lay in the snow because there was no strength left to bury them. Yet in the middle of this silence of hunger came a sound that defied reason: music. In August 1942, the composer Dmitri Shostakovich completed his 7th symphony. He wrote it for the city that could still hear, even through starvation. On 9th August, the score was performed inside besieged Leningrad by musicians so weak they had to be helped onto the stage. The conductor, Karl Eliasberg, raised his baton, and through loudspeakers the music was carried across the front lines. German soldiers listening from their trenches heard not surrender, but defiance. An entire city declaring that it still existed. By then, the siege had lasted nearly a year. German divisions tried again and again to crush the city, but the Soviet lines held. Supplies trickled in over the road of life and later through an air corridor. Every loaf of bread, every shell, was a victory. The civilians kept diaries, quiet records of fading days. One child wrote, "I have buried all my family. There is nothing left but my city." Such lines outlived the writers. They remind us that history is measured not only by battles won, but by hearts that continued beating when they should have stopped. In January 1943, the siege ring cracked. Soviet forces opened a narrow land corridor along the southern shore of Lake Ladoga. Trains rolled again. Food and medicine poured in. It would take another year for the Germans to be driven completely away, but the worst was over. When the blockade finally ended in January 1944, Leningrad was a ghost of stone and memory. 1 million of its people were gone. Yet the factories restarted, the trams returned, the symphony was played once more, not as lament, but as triumph. The siege became legend, a testament to what endurance can mean when logic says there is none left. It proved that will can outlast hunger, that a city's identity can become its strongest weapon. The streets still bear the scars, but also the pride. Citizens, during shelling this side of the street is more dangerous. Those words remain painted on the walls, a warning turned into a memorial. Leningrad did not survive because it was prepared. It survived because it refused to accept the alternative. And that refusal, more than any bullet or tank, became its victory. Thank you for watching TLDR Learning. If you enjoyed this video, consider liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing with your friends. There is real research and a team of people working together to bring you these videos. We hope you enjoy them as much as we did making them. Check our channel for more content like this. See you in the next one.